Welcome to another allotment diary. Well, it's been a little while. I've not been down here too much, I must admit. And when I have been down, I've been doing a bit of digging. Haven't done much, he admits. But cleared this. That spot there, just that little spot there, it took almost 2 hours to dig. Filled a wheelbarrow full of just roots. No weeds from the surface, just roots. So this area here, it's going to take a long time to dig. So anyway, I'm going to get on with that in a bit. I've started the path along there. There's going to be a path all the way down there. But until we get more bark chippings on site, I can't really continue with the path. So I think what I'm going to do is dig along that way and sort of level off these lumps. You can see there's lumps in there. So I'm just going to tidy that up and level that off and dig across that way, I think. And try and get as much done as I can. Onions and garlic are still doing really, really well. I'm quite pleased with those, I must admit. They're looking lovely. The square foot garden. Now, problem is when you plant seedlings, you never know if it's a seedling coming up or if it's a weed. Now, those are actually radishes. I recognise the leaves, but over there, I'm not 100% sure if that is a carrot or not. So I'm going to have to leave these to grow a little bit and make a call on whether it's a weed or not when they get a bit bigger. Because I've got the glass on top of here to keep this warm, it is making the soil quite damp. So what I'm doing is when I'm down here, I'm taking the glass off, letting the air circulate, and I've put twigs underneath the edges of the glass just so that some air can get in, and there's a little bit of air circulation which should hopefully help keep it good. Now, one of the reasons I've come down here today is there is actually a plot inspection this weekend, so I just want to give it a bit of a tidy up, and you know, things like all these pots, put those neatly, sort all this out, tidy up all that, just make it look a little bit neater so that there's nothing anyone can complain at me when they come down. I have tidied my shed on the bright side. I came down the other day and got down there all prepared to dig and realised I was actually wearing decent clothes. I thought I can't sit in mud wearing these because it'll ruin them. So rather than just go home, I thought I'd tidy my shed out. So I sorted my shed. I found quite a lot of tools, quite a lot of other bits and pieces I didn't realise I had, including a giant bag of compost. So that was quite handy. On the downside, I did find a giant spider or two, which I wasn't overly impressed with, and I have found that my shed floor is actually rotted, if not, you know, needs replacing. So I'm going to have to get something like some marine ply or some pallets and just cut the shed floor out and replace it this year. So that's a job I need to do. Plus I need to repaint the shed. It needs a decent coat of paint at some point this year. You can see it's just sort of absorbed it all where I painted it last year. And on this, a few of these need replacing. This one here has actually sort of finally rotted through, so I have to get that off and put a new one down. But I can probably, to be fair, knock a piece of wood off one of these pallets. So that's a job for another day. So yeah, as I said, I'm quite pleased now. My shed is tidy. So I'm happy with that. Everything's organised, so I can actually A, get in there, and B, find things. Now, tree front. Where are we? There you are. Look, that's the plum tree is coming to life. So all this stress and worry about whether these were dead or alive, they're alive and they're growing. So that's fantastic news. The apple tree again, you can just see signs of life there and there. You can just see the buds are starting to form. So I've checked all of them, and again, same there, and I can't see any, yeah, there you are, same on this one as well. So very pleased with that. These are coming to life, so give them a little while and they should be should do very well. I'm not expecting any fruit this year, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some fence posts, put some posts over there, and start training the branches across the posts, so that I have my sort of living hedge. And obviously this is the path between allotments, so having the hedge along there kind of makes sense, and it just means that on the rare occasion that somebody uses this path, they're not going to stray into the allotment. There's only going to be one entrance on this side, and it's be there by the shed, so that obviously you can get in there, and then there'll be an entrance over here somewhere as well. To be fair, it's probably going to be there next to the compost bins. That's where the other entrance will be. And I do plan to surround the entire allotment with fruit bushes and things like that. You can see my little path has sort of spread outwards quite substantially here. So I don't quite know how that's happened, but something or something keeps digging in this soil, this bark, because I keep finding marks in it. So there's obviously someone or something is coming along there. I suspect it's probably squirrels, to be fair. So the compost heap, it's looking like compost. I'm bringing stuff up from home now, so I'm bringing my kitchen scrap. So I'm only bringing unprocessed food, so I'm not bringing anything that's cooked. There's no meat, no dairy, so it's just vegetable peelings and sort of veg that's gone off that I'm bringing down and putting on here. Eggshells and tea bags as well, because basically they're going to add some useful micronutrients to this. When we get our next delivery of manure on site, I'm going to put a couple of spades of manure in each one. Take these fronts off and really dig in the manure and turn them over, because the manure will act as an activator. You can go and buy an activator if you want, but the trouble is obviously that's going to cost you money, and you know, you could use manure. It's a perfectly good activator and works very, very well. I have sprayed down this end, not that you'd actually tell looking at it, because nothing seems to have died off yet, so there's a bit of yellowing of the grass there, so normally takes 2 or 3 weeks for it to actually kill everything. So by the time I get to this, hopefully it will all be dead and gone. But what gets me down there is the sheer volume of roots. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I'm getting dandelion and dockleaf roots that are 2 feet long. You know, you dig up the comfrey roots and they're massive. The comfrey roots are really, really big, and the problem with them as well is they're very fragile. So of course they're breaking, and they will regrow from that. Now, in the polytunnel, we have leaks. They're starting to show their heads. I was a little bit concerned I wasn't going to get any leaks. They didn't seem to be doing much for ages, but they're finally popping up above the surface. So very pleased with that. There's some Brussels sprouts, there. So going to give those another couple of days, and then I'm going to repot them. In this one, we've got broccoli coming up there. There's some celery, no sign of that, and tomatoes, no sign of that either. I'm probably going to plant a lot more tomatoes, but in a separate pot. And then over here we've got Brussels and cauliflower and cabbage. They were only done yesterday, so don't expect to see anything from those yet. But it's all coming up and looking good. So I'm very pleased with those. I've got some horticultural fleece, so when I plant these out, if it's still looking chilly, I'll just put that over the top of them and keep them warm. But you can see these are doing very, very nicely. And like I said, a couple more days and they need potting on. But the progress is going well, getting things done. So today it's a general tidy up, and then like I said, I'm going to continue with the digging and see how much I can get done. So all progressing well. How are you getting on at your plot? What are you up to at the moment in your vegetable garden? And also, have you got any good suggestions on the best way to replace the shed floor? At the moment, I'm toying with the idea of marine ply. I think it's probably the best idea. Put down some sort of tarpaulin or something underneath to stop damp coming up, and then put marine ply on top. I mean, I could put pallets down. If I get solid pallets like the ones I've used on the compost heap, like those over there, I could use those, put those down, you know, with a solid part at the top, make a floor. But again, it's cutting those to size, that could be a bit tricky. But I don't know yet. That's a job for a little while, so it will get done, but just not immediately. And so everything else is progressing nicely. I've not looked under these beds yet, so what I will do at some point soon is when the weather's warmed up properly, because we had a few days of spring and now it's turned very cold again, so I don't really want to uncover these beds yet. But when I'm ready to plant out the stuff in the polytunnel, I'll uncover these beds, turn them over, and put the plants in here. I do need to replace a lot of the paths here. You can see it's broken down quite well there, so it could, to be fair, it could probably do with me taking it all off, digging it all over and recovering it, but I quite simply can't be bothered. But you can see how much the levels dropped down, because this was up near the top of the raised bed when I filled it with manure, and now it's sunk down about 4 inches, so it's really broken down quite well. So quite pleased with that. Got some more herbs I need to buy. I want to get marjoram in there, perhaps another chive, a couple of plants like that, lavender, things that are going to bring in the bees and attract the insects, because remember, I want to make this really insect friendly, so I get lots of pollinators on board, and they do the job for me. But apart from that, we're all doing well down here, so I think it's time for me to do a bit of tidying up before I start some digging, and then hopefully it will look a lot better. So let me know how you're getting on with your plot. Let me know any thoughts you have on the shed floor, and I will catch up with you very soon in another video. A quick update for you before I go. I got bored digging before I even started, to be fair. So I tackled my strawberry bed. You can see it's all tidy now. I've removed all the runners from the paths, replanted some, thrown the rest away, because there's loads of strawberry plants in there. The issue I have is where the path is. I figured this path was probably quite old, but I hadn't realised how old it was, and having had a look whilst removing the strawberry runners, the path has actually had it, because all the bark, bottom layer of the bark, is all broken down and is pretty much soil-like, as you can see there. So all the bark on this side is going to have to come up, get thrown on the compost heap, and then replaced with fresh weed membrane and new bark. It was a job I was hoping not to do, but you know, that's the way it goes. I knew it was, to be fair, I did know it was on its way out, but I don't think I'd realised just how rotten it was. I was hoping that I'd have a year or two left before I had to replace any of that, but unfortunately I don't. So looks like I have yet another job for this summer. So once more bark arrives, all this area here is going to get scraped up and rebarked. So another fun job for me.